17th Jackson County Commission work session to order. And before we proceed, we'll have our work session quickly first, and then a community meeting afterwards. Open up for any discussion, questions, or comments about what's going on in Jackson County or as part of Jackson County. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll have our invocation. I'm sorry, can we have a roll call?
District 1, Mr. Guthrie. Present. District 2, Mr. Bedwell. Present. District 3, Mr. Miller. Present. And District 4, Mr. Level. Present. All here, and the chairman's also present.
Okay. We'll have our invocation by Mr. Ledwell and our pledge by Mr. Evans. Our flags are in the very back there.
Let us pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to come out here to this community. Father, please be with us as we make decisions for this county. Help us be mindful of the people that this affects and help us do the things that are pleasing to you. Please be with us and guide us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda. We have 4 items on the agenda. Are there any changes before we proceed? We have a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay. I think we've had anyone sign up to speak at this point in time, so we'll move on to the discussion items. The first item is the hiring committee's recommendation for the vacant mapper position. You have a letter from the hiring committee. The interviews were done, I believe, 2 weeks ago, and this is after some discussion. This is what they've recommended to move forward with. If you have any questions or comments on the individual or how they performed, Mr. Arnold, Mr. Crawford, and Mr. Willis were the ones that did that interview, so you can speak with them and discuss it a little bit further. And of course, we'll vote on this next week at our regular meeting. Are there any questions or comments at this time on this?
Still got to have an interview.
They interviewed 5. Any other questions or comments? Okay. If there's no opposition, then we'll place that on the agenda for next week. Next item is regarding agreement with Southern Health Partners. Mr. Manning, if you could explain what you did.
This is our annual contract that we've been using this particular company for several years now. And this is a particular contract that began March 1st of 2015, goes through February 29th of 16. And as you can see, the annualized fee, the monthly fee there. Now, just to note, I have called this company and spoken with Ms. Hamilton at the bottom of the list, our contracts manager. And I've asked her to reevaluate ours with our inmate count being down some and down a substantial amount. So I just basically asked them to reevaluate this and see if they could lower the cost any. And I should hear something back probably this week. So it will be a figure that's on this paper or lower if they can do anything to help us out.
Any questions or comments? Basically, this is the max that this would be, and hopefully we can get a lower rate on it, correct?
That's correct. And I've spoken with several administrators, and a lot of people do use this company and have not been able to really find anybody that's, or say better, or if they just happen to look. So, given the time frame here, again, I'm anxious to see if they'll reevaluate us based on our current inmate count and help us out on that. Should know something this week.
Questions or comments?
I have a question. Sheriff, is this something that, as the hospital, are they not able to provide this kind of service at our hospital? Inmate medical care?
You'd have to work out some kind of contract with them like this. I mean, we've got to have somebody that's going to be there in the jail.
Is this the people that provides that nurse? Stays there?
Yes. These are the people that work with them are part-time nurses, usually from Highlands, They come over there and rotate different people.
Okay.
If I'm not, I believe I'm right when I say
Yes, sir.
this. Some of them may be full-time employees, but I think they're all part-time from Highlands with Southern Health Partners.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
But let me say this, that just from talking to my employees at the jail, and I know Dennis has also been involved with them in the past, so they have done a very good job. Now, as far as the money part of it goes that y'all deal with, I don't know. But as far as what they do in the jail, they have done a very good job for us.
Sure. Do they just there 8 hours a day?
12 hours a day.
So like 2 nurses, and they, 1 to 6 and up to 6 or something?
No, just one. They just there from 6 in the morning to 6 in the evening, or 7 to 7, something like that. We don't have anybody there at night.
Okay, but that's 7 days a week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Questions or comments? All right. So if there's no objection, then we'll place this on the agenda for next Monday night. Again, hopefully we've heard back from them. If not, then we would maybe authorize to enter into this agreement pending that final number. Okay? Next item is regarding the GPS tracking. I just wanted to make a note, our license inspector, we've inquired about the possibility of putting the GPS unit on her vehicle and on her phone, both so that she can kind of transmit to us where she's at, and so that we can kind of monitor how she's traveling through the county and all. She started doing reports, but this will help her with the reports as well and knowing where all she's been. So this would cost us about $20 a month, something I'd like to get started. I just wanted to see what thoughts on that were.
When would we have hours up where we can actually utilize it?
We have some with Public Works. I'd actually like to take a look at the same company that we're using for this. I'd like, they're making a presentation, they'll be making a presentation to us in April.
When can we set up a conference call where you can say you can use it
Yeah. We'll try to do that if you'll, if you can get with Kathy, she has the contact information, she can get something set up. Yeah, I think everyone does have access, but like you said, there's been some trouble getting on there from the different systems, which is another reason why I think we need to look at a different system other than the one we've currently got, and this is a different system than that. And there's no limit on this. Of course, we could get one unit going, and in time, if we wanted to add 5 more or 10 more, there's no limit to the number that we can add. They are on a national bid list, so we would be able to work with them if we wanted to go 20 or 30 units in the future.
Is it set up just like the one that we have now, where you can track your past routes and stuff? That's one.
Right.
Good to utilize it.
Yeah, I think this would be a good test run to kind of see how it works with her, and then from that point, if we do want to work into something larger, we would want to sign a contract with them for a period of time, but this would be just a test run, so no contract would be needed at this time.
Call them, man, just go.
I will let you know. I can't remember, I can't think of what it is right now. They work with Verizon Wireless, I can't think what the name of the company is. Any other questions or comments? The final items regarding speed limit on County Road 181, Mr. Walker.
County Road 181 is a little dead end road, turn to the left off of 72, just a patch of Hollywood, Northwood Stevenson. We had a request to look at it for establishing speed limit. We went and checked it out. We've actually got a new little deal now, we put in our trucks and drive through these roads, and they tell us the degree of curvature and stuff like that. Of course, we would like that back to our charts and figure out what the design speed should be. This is something that Albot had given all the counties, we're just now kind of learning how to use it. It's really going to be a real big benefit for the Public Works Department in the future doing stuff like this. But we want to ask the commission to pass a resolution to set this speed limit to 20 miles per hour.
20.
How long is this road? Is it a big end road?
It's a real short road. It's about, Charity and I rode over it last week. I'm guessing it's probably about a half mile.
Any questions or comments on that?
Just don't send me to past Hollywood.
Is there another one, Mr. Level, you mentioned that needs to be changed?
That 412 that we approved,
I'll speak right now.
Okay.
We went up and looked at that, Commissioner, and 412 has got a very sharp curve in it, to the right. We went ahead and put some diary signs through that curve and set it at 15, I believe 15 mile an hour. We set it at, it was kind of, we go with 15, 20. We set it at 15 miles per hour in that curve. If we want to go back and establish a speed limit through the whole road, we would need to do that also with resolution. As you and I discussed, it is 45 miles per hour or something like that.
the resolution that we did for the road, which was on the left side, is that not sufficient enough to go ahead and post the same road?
In that resolution we did on the left side, on the resolution, we always specifically defined what part of the road covers, and it did not include that. We're still looking at it. We want to go back and run this new machine that we've got over it, and I'd like to possibly next work session bring it back to y'all. In our mind, we think it should be set at 30 miles per hour, but we want to try this machine when we get it going right.
Any other questions or comments? So if we want to do that, I guess we'll need to see a resolution on that. Is that something we want to pursue next week, or do we want to look at that a little further on 412?
I would recommend we go ahead and look at it. Let us see what our machine tells us. I know it's going to be less than 45, so we only require, we're having a little leak with it, make sure we get it all set up right now. I'd like to run through it.
Well,
We start doing them all based on that.
Will we be prepared next week then to do that? Or?
Yes.
Okay. So then if there's no objection, we'll place both of those on the agenda for next week. All right. That concludes our discussion item for our work session. Turn it over to Mr. Ledwell to kick off the community meeting. He represents this district as well. Mr. Ledwell.
Yes, sir.
Let me clarify something. I just asked Ms. Betsy, who runs the jail. The nurses that work there do not work for Highlands. They are full-time employees of Southern Health Department. They have 2 full-time and 1 part-time person that works for them. I just want to clarify that in case it makes a difference.
First off, I'd like to, there's not a whole lot of folks here from this area, but the weather may have kept them out or whatever, but thank y'all for coming out here, giving us the opportunity to come to this community and share with you the way we conduct a meeting. First and foremost, if we can be of any assistance, or if I can be of any assistance, please don't hesitate to call me if I can help you. But I do appreciate you coming out, and if you have any questions, we'll get started on that part of the program here in just a moment. And again, if we can help you or be of any assistance, please give us a call. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Little. I do want to mention we have our sheriff and chief deputy with us, and I thank you guys for joining us. And the probate judge regrets that he couldn't be here. He had a call, he had to take care of an issue just before it's time to come out here. So I'll ask the commissioners if they have anything to share. We'll talk about a couple of things that we've got going on, and then open it up if you have any questions or comments or criticisms or concerns or anything else for you. Mr. Venable, you got a comment? Mr. Guthrie? Mr. Miller?
I just want to thank the ladies for allowing us to come up here, and any questions that we can help you with, or anything, concerns you may have, we're here to answer them, so thank you for inviting us.
We thank you for allowing us to be here in the facility tonight. And the reason that we do this is to get out in the communities, let folks know what we as a county are doing, and also because we want to know what's going on in the county, what issues are, concerns are that are going on. So we want to be available. We want to be present throughout the county. We want folks to know that we're here to assist in any way we can. So just a couple things I'll talk about real quickly, and then we'll talk about anything else that you'd like to. Recently, we presented a county park project. It was presented 2 weeks ago, and we voted last week to move forward with the design phase of this. What we're wanting to do is some enhancements to our county park in Scottsboro, and hopefully when we see some of the development from this, we can expand some of these ideas and expand some of the park facilities and recreation throughout the county. We have obviously Paint Rock Valley Park and the park up at North Sand Mountain, and we want to provide more recreation for areas in the county. So I think this is a good investment to help us for the future in providing more funds for the Parks Department and really doing more for recreation throughout the county. So we're excited about that opportunity. I think that's going to be a great asset for Jackson County, and there's a lot of work there to be done, but I think it's going to be very beneficial for everybody. One thing we've talked about for a long time is our budget and revenues. Of course, we've been working for a long time to reduce our budget deficit. We've made a lot of progress. I think we've got our budget deficit down to about $350,000 this year. We'll be looking for some new sources of revenue, which hopefully we'll be back to speak with you about in a couple months. But we're going to continue to work on that in order to keep the services that we have in Jackson County. And what we really want to do is be able to provide more or participate more, whether it be industrial development or community development. So there'll be several things we'll be looking at to see what we can do to participate in, whether it be town, Paint Rock, or communities or whatever else, and see how we can help out. So we're looking at some different revenue sources there. So those are a couple of big things we've got going on. Hopefully you see a lot of the results of little things that we've been doing in the county. I think we've got good relationships with elected officials, good relationships with a lot of the towns and communities. So we hope to continue that and build upon that. And we need to work together for all of Jackson County. I think that's important, and we're going to continue to do that. I really enjoyed and appreciate the commission and the work that they've done. I think we'll see a very bright future with all the work that's going on. So with that, we'll open it up and have any questions or comments that you may have, or anything that you want to share with us. If you want to call someone names, though, I recommend it be,
Hey, let's have them to give us their name,
Okay.
please.
So the paper's requested your name. He wants you quoted.
Just look at me. Michael Counts, Mr. Labs, I hope you didn't have to ask my name. But one thing, and I've talked to several of y'all on with the in lieu of tax money we get, and there's some additional fire departments that have broken off from the larger ones that are trying to get in, and if that goes on, the money that we get to operate on is going to be even less. So I wish that y'all would consider, and I really don't know the logistics of it because I know it's a crazy thing, but there's a lot of stuff that we need as departments, and ISO regulations are getting tougher and tougher. But just consider some things that we're going to be able to do to help fund these fire departments. Even, I think I mentioned it to several of you before about even, I know with the road department, you have to bring all over the county. You got the central road department up there, but even having like a filling station around an area where we could get gas, because fuel is a huge expense for us. We had a train fire down here Saturday. We kept trucks running for about 4 hours. We had 5 engines on that train carrying about 4,000 gallons of diesel fuel. We averted a big catastrophe right there. But fuel, just stuff like that, it just eats up our budgets. And what money we get from the in lieu of tax money buys equipment and stuff, and pretty much all of our other operational expenses come from fundraisers. And everybody's fundraised to death around here. I mean, I do it a lot. Stacy's kids have sold stuff for me and FFA over the years at school. But just consider stuff like that, because those are the type things that we have to deal with that determine whether or not we're going to have a fire department in an area like this.
What's the next closest fire department?
you've got Woodville and you've got 3 separate departments. Well, they're one department in Paint Rock Valley,
Okay.
but they're 3, they operate separately.
Okay. It has been a topic of discussion, especially considering recently with some of the changes in appropriations. But again, in talking about possible new revenues or whatever other sources, it's definitely a consideration, something that we want to support and put some funding into. We know that it's hard, and we know that was one of the things when running, I think, was an issue we all came to all of us. So we know that some of the hardships there. I've not been involved enough to know all of them, but I've heard enough, I think, to know that there's definitely a need there. So I think there's definitely support from the commission there. And as we're able to, we definitely want to assist and help in any way we can. You guys have anything else to add to that? Tell us about your roads. Our engineer's here.
They're passed.
They're bad.
They're passed.
That's
For years.
We put in for a grant, we did,
Who did you put it in through?
Tarcon.
When you put in for anything like that, do let us know. We'll work. I know you have a representative, I think, from Paint Rock that sits on the Tarcon board. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, we'll be glad to support from the county side too and push Tarcon to try to make that decision.
We're gonna reapply, I'm not sure, Shirley was supposed to check on the date and reapply soon.
Okay. Yeah, let us know. Like I said, we'll be glad. I'll give you a card, so you can email or text or whatever, and let us know. So we'll try to support that.
I don't know which one I called, but I called one of y'all to get y'all have a deal with one of the contractors, don't you? One of the paving, where they work out, you're on a list or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Through the public works, yeah.
What's the name of it? What's the name of the company?
Wiregrass. It was Jackson.
That's what I was gonna say, I thought it was Jackson.
They had Wiregrass bottom out.
I think they gave me a prize. They were all high to us, of course, but
And those are all town roads. Yeah, like I said, with Tarkov, maybe we can help, and it doesn't hurt to have more people saying
no,
it.
that's true.
So we'll be glad to do that if you'll let us know when you submit
Well,
it.
James O'Neill is on the board, and he said, he told me that when we applied, he said, you're not gonna get it this time. But then, just the other day, he said that he thought we had a really good chance this time, but they had 49 applicants. And then I don't know how many they awarded.
Right.
One thing, Paint Rock is, I'm pretty sure y'all participate in our joint bid with us, the Public Works.
We have in the past.
Hey, y'all can, they have to honor that, the same bid price that we get for paving to y'all, since y'all are a part of it. So y'all should be getting the same price that we do. If we can ever hit
That's
more like
It is high, yeah. And that's the thing with the cost of paving, it's gotten so expensive, and yet revenues have stayed so steady as far as gas tax and things like that. So even on the county side, when you drive through county roads and you see a lot of the problems, that's why we know we're gonna have to figure out a new way to fund that, because gas taxes just aren't cutting it much anymore. I know the state's, possibly looking at something too, but, we've got to figure out something, because the roads aren't keeping up. What's the figures you've come up with?
Wondering, probably tell us better than how many miles we're paving and how long it takes to get from
we're paving about 8 miles a year with local money, and we got 1,100 miles of road, so to figure that out, how long it takes to get through it, that's 100 years or more. So we got to do better, we got to have more sources of revenue.
That's the bleak outlook. We'll find a way to make it better, but,
The cost of paving is went up, like, we hadn't had a tax increase since '92, gas tax. Back then, the material that you make the paving with was like 30 cents a gallon, and now it's nearly $3 a gallon, so it's went up 10 times nearly. And, no additional revenue coming in. Maybe one day we'll figure something out.
keep trying.
But if we never had y'all figure an estimate on the road, that's real easy. If you give us a road, how long it is and how wide it is, we can tell you about what it costs.
It's got that.
I've got 2 or 3 estimates that, and we asked Tarcog at the meeting, because they were actually writing our grant. They were the one awarding the grant, and they were, was it ADECA that?
Yeah.
They were ADECA, but they, I said, well, what can we do because we applied for the walking track. We didn't get it the first time, so I said, what can we do to maybe get a chance at it this time? He said, take the electricity off, so I did, and we got it. But then, of course, we got somebody funded the electricity for us later, but then he said at the meeting, said, what can we do about the streets? He said, well, you can take a street off, but we have one street that's not paved, but it needs paving, and it is city street. So we took it off. Well, that was $13,000. So when we apply again, we're gonna add it back, because $13,000 out of almost $400,000 is, and it needs paving. But I hope James is right. I hope we have a good chance, because it's been years since the streets have been paved, and we've patched till, you know, we just can't patch much more.
Right. Anything else? Anybody? All right. Well,
We're quiet.
They might come up to you after the camera.
Okay. We can count lots. Well, we thank you for hosting us here tonight, and I'll give you a card so that if you want to call the commission office or call any of the commissioners, like I always say, call me with praises, call these guys for complaints. They don't mind it a bit. But seriously, Mr. Ledwell is technically the District 4 Commissioner, but we all work for the whole county, represent the whole county, so feel free to call any of us at any time if you have questions or concerns or whatever else. We want to be here to represent you. And of course, we can't fix it if we don't know what the problem is, so we appreciate the comments on both the roads and the fire department there. Helps us understand a little bit more of the needs here, and if there's ever a need that comes up, let us know. We'll do what we can. If there's anything we can do, we'll definitely try to. So, Commissioners, you have anything else to add? All right. Sheriff, you have anything? I'm good. Keep it. All right. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no.